It began in an era gripped by fear, a time when the Cold War cast a long shadow over every technological ambition. In the late 1950s and early 1960s, the United States found itself on the defensive, shocked by the Soviet Union's launch of Sputnik. The space race had begun, but another race was quietly brewing in military corridors and research labs. A race to protect communications in the face of nuclear catastrophe. The U.S. Department of Defense needed a way to keep military communications intact even if parts of the country were destroyed. That led to the formation of ARPA, the Advanced Research Projects Agency, and the birth of a revolutionary concept, decentralized communication. This agency was tasked not only with thinking outside the box but imagining boxes that hadn't even been built yet. At the heart of it was a radical idea from computer scientist Paul Barron. Instead of centralized telephone lines that could be easily cut, what if information traveled through a web of nodes? Packet switching was born. Data broken into small pieces, each finding its way independently across a network. Redundancy ensured that if one path failed, others could still deliver the message. It was robust, elegant, and decades ahead of its time. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, British scientist Donald Davies independently developed a similar packet switching concept. This simultaneous invention in different parts of the world hinted at the urgency and universality of the idea. And it set the stage for the first digital revolution. In 1969, 4 computers at UCLA, Stanford, UC Santa Barbara, and the University of Utah were connected through ARPANET. The first message ever sent? Low. They were trying to type, login, but the system crashed. Still, that fragile connection marked the birth of something extraordinary. As ARPANET matured, it quickly became clear that new protocols were needed to handle the growing web of connections. In the 1970s, engineers Vint Cerf and Bob Kahn introduced TCP/IP, a standardized set of rules for data exchange that made communication between different types of machines possible. This wasn't just technical wizardry, it was diplomacy for computers. Throughout the 1980s, this invisible web expanded across continents. Networks like NSFNET and BitNet linked universities and research institutions globally, and new applications like email revolutionized communication. Researchers were no longer isolated. Collaboration crossed oceans. And then came the leap that would truly change everything. The invention of the World Wide Web in 1989 by Tim Berners-Lee. While ARPANET was a network of machines, the web was a network of knowledge. With hyperlinks and browsers, information was no longer buried in command lines. It was visual, interconnected, and user-friendly. The Internet was no longer just for scientists and soldiers. It was for everyone. As the 1990s rolled in, Internet access exploded. Personal computers became household staples. Email, search engines, and early social networks reshaped daily life. Businesses, schools, and even governments began to operate online. The dot-com boom created fortunes and redefined entire industries. And while the bubble eventually burst, the infrastructure remained stronger than ever. New milestones arrived rapidly. Broadband replaced dial-up. Wi-Fi made the Internet mobile. Smartphones brought it into our pockets. And the cloud transformed data from something stored to something streamed, synced, and shared in real time. But this isn't just a story about technology. It's a story about how fear, vision, and relentless curiosity gave birth to a system that now connects over 5 billion people. The Internet emerged not from comfort, but from crisis. It evolved not through command, but through collaboration. If you found this journey into history fascinating, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more untold science and tech stories, and drop a comment below. What do you think the next great evolution of the internet will be? And as we look forward to Web 3, the metaverse, and the rise of artificial intelligence, it's worth remembering that every click we make is built on decades of invisible innovation. That the technologies we rely on daily were once sketches on chalkboards and punch cards in university basements. This is more than a history of computers. It's the story of how we became connected, not just by wires and code, but by shared curiosity and ambition. The story of how the internet was born, and how it continues to shape the world we live in.